thing that I found most challenging was probably the initial period. You kind of like built this house over time, and then these tornadoes came through and wrecked it, and it was just the initial shock of what you actually have to do now.
I have remote working. It's really hard to feel like you're making any progress when everything's online. You have to kind of change the way that you think about things and the way that you do things.
Being able to be in the same place as other people. And by place, I mean either geographically or in terms of headspace. I feel that some of the joy and some of the immediacy has been lost.
I draw a lot of my energy, particularly working with students when I'm seeing them face to face. Doing it online is completely different, and I find that coming away I'm sort of drained rather than energized, which is how I normally feel when I work with them. So I think that's one of the things I found really challenging this time.
For me, the day-to-day challenge and the thing I find quite exhausting is that we've sort of lost informality. I'm missing the informal chats where you can just talk over each other if needed, and it's not quite as chaotic as doing that on a video call.
I think the most challenging thing from the last 12 months has been the isolation, and the impact that's had on my mental health, as well as others in the community, has been quite profound.
I think we've been very good at keeping our team of kind of 20 or so people very highly connected, feeling socially supported, all that kind of stuff. But I no longer run into, well, as head of policy, when we're in the lunch queue, the salad, I no longer kind of grab a coffee with a graduate who worked in our team. So it's been hard trying to kind of feel as inspired and as connected without those accidental connections.
You can't get together to grieve, for example. People, you can't, go to the hospital to visit people who are ill. And so the very most difficult things are those, those deeply personal kind of life cycle activities that we all have encountered over the last number of years.
In a real battle at times, and I use that word advisedly. I've found the bottom of the depths where I never thought it was possible to go. And I've also found ways of looking after myself and managing it that I never thought were possible as well.
And we think we are valiant and strong and resilient. And in fact, this has just highlighted, actually nothing is strong and valiant and resistant. And we're all sort of fragile and provisional.
The most painful thing has been not being able to be with loved ones, especially during periods of grief. I have lost 7 people in my extended family to COVID, including a 31-year-old nephew 10 days ago. And I couldn't go there and hug them, hug their parents, hug their spouses, hug their siblings, their children.